If you're looking to add a pop-up like and subscribe notification in your edit, carry on watching this video and I'll show you how to create one from scratch in Canva and then configure and use it in Davinci Resolve 20.
Hi, welcome back to Bite Size Guide. I'm Phil. As promised, in this video we're going to create our own pop-up subscribe button. We're going to create it from scratch in Canva and then we're going to import it into Davinci Resolve 20 onto our editing project. If you've never used Canva before, then you'll need to register with them, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video. But bear in mind that everything that we do in this video today is using the free version. So we'll go to Canva and we'll go to Create in the top left hand corner. And this is the Create a Design page. And what we want to do is go to Video. And we're looking for YouTube Video Landscape 1920 by 1080. So we click on that and that gives us a brand new project. And the first thing we need to do is create ourselves a green screen. And the reason we're doing that is when we import it into Davinci Resolve 20, when it processes it, it will remove the green screen, leaving just a pop-up and a transparent background. So to do that, all we're going to do is click on the background and go to the colour wheel that appears and we pick a green. Doesn't matter really which colour you use. Davinci Resolve 20 is intelligent enough when it comes to process it that it'll recognise it. And what it actually does is when we create our pop-up here and we import it, anything that's green will be made transparent. So the next thing we'll do is add in our first element. So we go to Elements and Shapes and we want this oblong. So we'll pull that in. What we're going to do is stretch it out like that. And that is the base of our pop-up. And what we're going to do is change the colour of that. So we'll click on it and in the top you can see the colour wheel with that colour. Click on that and we're going to change it to white. So next we need to add a circle. What we're going to do is work from left to right. So this circle needs to fit into this end. So we'll shrink it down. We'll just try that more. Try that. Perfect. And then inside that, because this is a pop-up for Clumber Park Church, we're going to put in a symbol of a crucifix. So if we go back to Elements and then we want to go to Graphic and then we'll type in cross. And it was that one. We'll use that. So we'll shrink it down so it fits into it just fits into our circle like that. Now the next thing we're going to do is add 2 text boxes and they're going to be the titles of our pop-up. So we'll go to text and add a text box. That's one. We'll pull that up there and we'll get the other one as well. And add a text box. There's 2. So we've got 2 separate text boxes. And we're going to keep it at, well, I quite like Canva Sans, the font. So I'm going to keep it at that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this first one to Plumber Park Church. And I'm going to rename the second one National Trust. What we're going to do, we're going to drag these over. We may have to resize these later, but for now, we're just going to put them in situ, just so we know what we're doing. Just like that. We're going to make this one bold. So next, we want to add another circle. So we go back to Elements, Circle, and we'll shrink that down. Doesn't have to be the same size as this. If anything, a little bit smaller. And we'll drag it on to there. And we'll make it red. So we'll click on the colour and we'll choose a colour and we'll put it across right to the top. And we'll keep an eye on it, make it a nice red colour like that. So next, what we're going to do is find a thumbs up symbol and we're going to place it in that red circle. So we'll go to Elements. Oh, there's actually one there already. If you click on that, what we want it to be is white. So we'll click on that and go to the colour and change it to white. Perfect. And we'll shrink it down so it fits into the circle and drag it over a bit more. Try and get it central. How's that look? Perfect. So next we want to add in another oblong. So Elements again, Shape, and Oblong, and we'll shrink it down. Basically, this is going to have the word subscribe in it. It's going to go next to here. So we want this the same colour as that red. So if we go to Colour, Colour Wheel, and the little pipette, if we click on that, it lets us copy a colour. So we'll put it over the one we've already got. Click on that, and it's the identical red. We'll get that, and we'll grab that and put that in like that. Just like that. We might need to tweak it a little bit. Like that. And within that, we're going to actually put a text box. So text, add a text box, and we're going to call this in capitals, subscribe. I'm going to drag that over there. And then what we're going to do is drag it up to make it fit. So it's a decent size. And what we'll do as well, go to the top, we can make it bold. A little bit bigger. Because that's the reason for having it. That's quite central. And we'll pull this end in so it's symmetrical. So next, we're going to add another circle. What we'll do, we'll duplicate the one we've already got, and then we'll drag it across into this side. So inside that red circle, we're going to place a bell. So if we go to Elements again, and Graphics, we'll type in ringing bell. If we move down, that one. Perfect. So we'll shrink it down. To fit into there. Now what we're going to do is move everything over slightly, and we're going to make our text slightly larger. So we'll move that across. Move the text across. move the circle across and move the thumbs up across. And then we're going to click on this text box and we're going to make it fit into that space. And the same with this one. Just like that. I think also what we'll do is change the black writing to white. That looks better. So for the graphic, that's complete. So what we're going to do now is highlight everything. And you've got the option to group. If you click on that, it groups every element together as one graphic. So now I can move that whole thing without it falling apart. And then what we're going to do is just clear some space. And we're going to add some animation. So what we're going to do is highlight our grouped graphic and then go to animate. And we click on group. And then what we want is rise. Animate both on enter and on exit. Reverse exit animation. So it goes up and then it comes back down. See what that does. Nice. And what we're going to do as well, what we can do on the graphic representation on the timeline, we can click on that. We can actually make it longer. We're going to make it 7.5 seconds. Make it linger just a little bit longer. Play that. Rise. Stays there for 7.5 seconds and falls. So that is complete. So what we need to do now is export it from Canva so we can then import it into Davinci Resolve. So if we go up to share, we can download and click download. And there we go. It's that one there. So we're actually done in Canva. So we'll close Canva off. So we'll fire up Resolve. And go to our project. And then from our video bin, we're going to right click and import media. And there it is. We'll just rename that so we don't get confused. Pop-up sub button church. Pop-up sub button church and open that. And there it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to make ourselves some space on our timeline. We're going to pull it down a bit. We're going to create a new track. And we're going to call that Pop-up Subscribe. So pop-up subscribe. And what we'll do, we'll find an appropriate place to put our button. Doesn't really matter in this circumstance. It's just for practice. I think go around there. I think that's a nice place to put it. drop it in just there. So we'll play it. Yep. So it kind of works. So now what we've got to do is to manipulate the green screen. So what we're going to do, get the playhead and drag it over the top of our button and highlight it. And then what we're going to do is go into our Fusion page. Click on that. And what we want to do is add an effect called Delta Keyer. So if we go up to effects and in the search type in Delta Keyer, there it is, and we click on that and that adds that effect. And over here is the inspector for the Delta Keyer effect. So what we want to do, make sure that key is highlighted, and on background color we want to click on that and it pops up a color wheel. Now what we want to do is tell it to ignore this color. So we go pick screen color and we've got a picker. So you want to hover over until you get a green like that and left click, and then it puts that green that was there into the choice and click OK. And you see now it's removed the green and it's put in like a transparent background. Fantastic. You can use that for any graphic. It's really useful for adding effects for graphics. Brilliant. So next we want to go to final result. We want to go to matte and we want to click on matte. And the threshold, what we're doing is tidying up the edges of our graphic so there's no feathering. So what we want to do, we just want to pull the edges in by a couple hundred on each side. On that side and then on that side. Don't be too accurate. It just tidies the edges up. And then what we want to do is on the matte, go to final result. And then we go back to our edit page. And there we have it. You can see the pop-up graphic is now transparent. Or the background of it is transparent. Very nice. Now what we can do now is to alter its positioning and the size of it. So with our button still highlighted, we can go to the transform key, and there it allows you to alter the properties of it. So if we go to inspector, this gives us some more additional tweaks. So if I click on that, what we can do, if you highlight over that, zoom on the left hand side, it makes it larger and smaller. Like that. So I'll make it a bit smaller. And then the positioning of it, you can go left and right, or you can go up and down. So what we're going to do is drag it down to there. And we'll get rid of the transform key. And we'll just play that and see what we've got. Very nice. A custom made like and subscribe button. Now, obviously, if you use your imagination with that, the techniques we've used today could be adopted to other graphics, especially when removing the background. Very useful. Now I'll just clear the desktop, get rid of Inspector, and we'll get rid of the media pool just so we can see it better. We'll run it again. Just have a second opinion. Yep, very good. Now what you can also do, now you've created that, you can actually right click on it and copy, and then bring your time head further down, your replay head, and do paste. You've got another one. Now we've got two. And of course, like any video, basically that's what it is. You can drag it about, so you can move it to wherever you want. Fantastic. Well, I hope you found that interesting, slightly different to our previous videos. If you found this video useful, please give us a thumbs up and click on subscribe. And also, please leave a comment. The more comments we get, the more improvements we can make to these videos, and the better and more useful they'll be to people in the future. I'm Phil, and this is Bite Size Guide. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.